Hi there, it's Dolan Rushing. I am just checking in once again, and I have been in downtown Asheville here for a while, and it's a very cool place to be, I have to say. Um, it's I've never really felt super at home in a city before, but there's something about this city that is very special. Um, it's it's not too big of a town at all, and it's very artsy and hippie, and it's just a very creative town. And almost everywhere you go, there's really good art, and there's really good food here. And like most of the restaurants that I've run across are vegan, and I know not everybody is into that, but it's very good for you, and it's very good food. And even if you're not vegan, like just eating at these restaurants and trying these vegan foods, it's like, wow, this is really good. And like, I didn't know vegan food could be so delicious. And like me, I'm not vegan. Yeah, so I'm crazy about the food here, crazy about the art, the hotels, and I'm staying at a hostel. It's called Sweet Peas Hostel, downtown Asheville, and it's so cool. I'm paying $45 a night for a pod and a little sleeping pod, and it has little curtains, so it's private. And you can get in the dorm room for like $35, I believe. And it's a very nice hostel, and they have a beautiful kitchen and living room, and it's right in the heart of downtown Asheville. And it's just walking distance for everything. Ever since that I checked into this hostel a few days ago, I've not driven anywhere, and I've gotten everything that I've needed. Like right now, I'm walking to an organic bakery that my friend's friend owns, and I've become good friends with these hostel people, and it's amazing how close you can come to someone just even in a few days, just by living with them. And these people that I'm meeting at the hostel, they're from all over the country. One's from Long Island, New York. One's from Minnesota, Michigan, and Florida, and I forget, but they're from all over the place, and they just come to Asheville and fall in love with it and decide to work at the hostel and live there as well. And I think that would be something really fun to do. But this town is surrounded by national forests and the Appalachian Mountains, and the Swananoa Mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains, and the Appalachian Trail runs through here, probably, I would guess, about 30 miles from here. And I've been staying at hostels the past probably week, probably, and I've stayed at a lot of rural mountain hiker hostels, and they're hostels just out in the middle of nowhere in the mountains, just for the hikers to stay at along the 2,100 mile Appalachian Trail. And so I've really been introduced to the hiking culture, and it's been fascinating, absolutely fascinating, to learn about the hiking culture. And they have trail names, and they call it tramly. They make friends that are trail family on the trail, and they get to meet each other and they hike together. And most of them begin the 2,100 mile journey by themselves, but end up hiking in groups, and they need a place to stay. And so there are hostels pretty scattered out along the Appalachian Trail, and I stayed at three of those mountain hiker hostels in the mountains. And gosh, I was, every single time that I stayed at one, I was the only non-hiker there. So I really got to surround myself with that hiker culture, and it was really cool. I learned so much, and they gave me my trail name, and they called me Rollin' Dolan. So I think that sounds pretty fitting. I love rolling. I like moving. And so yeah, it's a fascinating place. I went hiking with my friends from the hostel yesterday, and we went out into some national forests. They don't charge you to go into the forest here, which is very much so a breath of fresh air, because in Texas you have to pay to go into any kind of wilderness, even if it's a small state park. And so it's a breath of fresh air to just be able to go into the wilderness and not have to pay for the whole time that you're there, because we're citizens of the earth and we should be able to access the wilderness at any time. I believe in people owning private property and everything, but I also believe that more of it should be available for public use, because not everybody can afford to have a ranch, or I think everybody should have the right and the privilege to have access to nature. And so this town is just, it's amazing. There are so many cool stores here, lots of art, and you can see the mountains from the town. I just walked on the other side of this hill. You can see the big peaks on the other side where when I started filming this, I should have showed you. But right here you can that's not a mountain, but it just shows you how close, like I'm in the very center of downtown Asheville, and that's just land. I mean, that's where the wilderness starts, like right there. And one of the reasons I feel so at home here in Asheville is because it's like a cool city, everything you need, but the wilderness is like 5 minutes away. I love it. And it's huge mountains, springs running off the mountains. Yesterday we went on a beautiful hike and we went barefoot hiking, and so there's something so liberating and freeing and grounding and balancing about having your raw feet touch the bare earth. And we put our feet in the cold streams. We put our feet in the cold streams and laid there and just relaxed in the sun and the mountains and the wilderness, and it was a really powerful experience. And we talked about meditation and the energy and frequencies, and life advice, and how nature is our teacher. There are so many things that can be revealed to us in life just by studying and focusing intently on nature. I strongly recommend just going out into nature on a hike, or on a bike, or a walk, or a canoe, or a kayak, or a ski, or a snowboard, or a boat, or a whatever it is. There are so many ways to get into nature, and it's free most of the time. You might have to, at a state park or something, you might have to give it a little bit, but most national forests that I've been to, you can just go hang out there and go on a hike, and I strongly recommend that because it's very good for the soul and very good for me. And so yeah, I recommend. This is the cafe right here that my friend owns, or my friend's friend owns. And this looks like a cool art gallery. I love art. The art is so good here. I mean, even in restaurants here, they just have really good random art. So anyway, I'm gonna go in and get my bread. And thank you guys for watching, and thanks for keeping updated with my adventures. You never know where I'm gonna be, and this is a very inspiring trip for me, and I'm really just having a good time and learning a lot, learning so much. So thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.